Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Advanced Law of Attraction. And today we have officially invited Dr. John Demartini to be part of Advanced Law of Attraction to introduce to us Law of Attraction in a completely different fashion. There's going to be one live lesson tonight, and there's going to be one live lesson on the next date, which you will come to know by email. And the time is going to be same as today, which is 9:30 p.m. But those of you who don't know who Dr. John Demartini is, I hope you remember Dr. John Demartini. I keep talking about him in almost every Advanced Law of Attraction lesson. He is the man who was from the movie The Secret, the man who made the breakthrough experience, the Demartini method. He's written more than 40 books, which are translated in more than 29 languages. He lives on a cruise. I mean, how many people have a dream of going on a holiday on a cruise? Type an I in the chat window if you want to go on a holiday on a cruise and that's your dream. Well, this gentleman, Dr. John Demartini, lives on a cruise, and the name of the cruise is called The World. And we had the good fortune of meeting Dr. John Demartini last year when we had invited him for the breakthrough experience with Imran and with Indu, and we had hosted him with I think about 750 of you were here at that time. But a lot of you had missed that opportunity that time. And also because the recordings were available only for a limited period of time. So with a lot of high demand and request, we have once again invited Dr. John Demartini back as part of our program. So with Imran and with Indu over here, even though I know she's busy, I'm going to invite Dr. John Demartini to please switch on your videos, and all of you get ready to invite him and say thank you and I love you to Dr. John Demartini once he is on video. 1, 2, and 3. Let's go, everyone. Unmute. Let's give it some energy.
Thank you, I love you.
Thank you.
Love you.
So much love you.
I love you. Thank you. Love you, sir. Thank you. I love you. I love you, sir. I love you so much.
I just made so few happy. Love you, Dr. John Demartini. Love you, Dr. John Demartini. Dr. John Demartini. We love you, Dr. John.
Love you.
Love you so much.
So I'm going to put everyone on John now. And with that, Dr. John Demartini, thank you so much for accepting our invitation one more time, for giving us your love, for giving us your wisdom again. Thank you on behalf of Indu, Imran, and on behalf of all the IMK community members here of Platinum and Advanced Law of Attraction. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's lovely to see all of you again. It's inspiring. I see all the smiles. It's just inspiring. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be with you.
Thank you. I understand you're already on your ship.
I am in Mossel Bay, South Africa. I was in Cape Town a couple of days ago. I'm in Mossel Bay, and I'm about to sail out. Right outside the window is the ocean, and I'm about to sail out to Durban, Australia.
Wow.
Durban, South Africa, pardon me. Durban, South Africa.
What a dream life. How many of you would love to have this life one day where you're traveling on the cruise and that's your house? Type an I in the chat window if you'd love to attract that. And the reason we've invited Dr. John Demartini today is to give you perspective on how values play a big role in our law of attraction and what's the connection. So, Dr. Demartini, the stage is all yours to start with that very, 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 very important question about how do we really connect law of attraction with values, and why is it so relevant? Because a lot of times members from our Advanced Law of Attraction community, no matter how many times they say their affirmations, no matter how many times they say hope, nope, no, they're still struggling to attract what they want, and they're not able to find that missing link, which I think you can put light on today.
Okay. I hope everybody has something to write with and write on or type. Every human being, regardless of age, gender spectrum, or culture, lives moment by moment by a set of priorities, a set of values, things that are most to least important in their life. And this set of values or hierarchy of values dictates how they perceive, how they decide, and how they act. Whatever's highest on that list, whatever's highest in priority, whatever's most important on the hierarchy is where they excel. In fact, the very highest value is the source of their innermost being. It's their ontological identity. Their identity revolves around it. My highest value is teaching. I identify myself as teacher. My teleological purpose is wrapped around my highest value. My purpose is teaching in the area of human behavior. My ontological identity, my teleological purpose, and my epistemological area of expertise and knowledge is in the highest value. So identifying what's highest on your value is one of the most significant things you can do to master your life, to excel, and to awaken the law of attraction, which is what I'm about to link.
Right.
Whatever is highest on your value, you spontaneously are inspired to act. You require no extrinsic motivation to get you reminded, motivated, or incentivized to act. So I don't have to be reminded or motivated or incentivized to teach. But anything that's lower on the values, as you go down the list of values, requires external motivation to get you to keep doing it. So what's low on my values is cooking and driving. I haven't cooked since I was 24, and I haven't driven a car in 33 years. I learned a long time ago that if you want an inspired life, delegate everything but the highest value. Delegate lower priorities and lower values and stick and dedicate to highest values. Now, how does this relate to the law of attraction? The brain, your brain, is set up with sensory information coming in through your visual, auditory, smell, taste, tactile, and other senses. It's coming in through the sensory receptors. It goes into the brain stem and into the spinal cord and goes up the ascending tracks, nerve tracks, up into what they call the thalamus. The thalamus is a relay station into the cortex, which is the area where we now become conscious of information. So in other words, information that comes in through all the senses, bombarding us from every angle, not all of it goes into conscious awareness. We only pick out and selectively bias our attention and take in only certain information, and we pick up the information that's highest on our values most. We have a selective biased attention for our highest values. Now, let me give you an example. If your highest value is raising beautiful children and you're a mother and you have 3 children under the age of 5, if you walk in a mall, you will notice children's clothes, children's health items, children's entertainment items, children's, clothes, or anything, educational items, anything that helps you fulfill what you envision for your child, you will spot in the mall and selectively bias your attention and extract out of the mall, out of the infinitude of information coming in your senses, that information that is primarily associated with what you value most. Anything that's low on your values, you will filter it out. You'll have attention deficit disorder in the lower values and attention surplus order in the highest. So we automatically notice things that are high in our values and ignore things that aren't. We've all met people that we've been introduced to, and they've said their name, and 1/1000th of a second after they said their name, somebody said, "Who was that?" And you go, "Hell if I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even register their name," because you didn't think they were important. So it didn't even go into a short-term memory. But if all of a sudden George Clooney or Angelina Jolie or somebody really, really hot came up to you and said, "Hi, I'm George," or "I'm Angelina," or something, you probably would retain the name, recite the name, write the name, repeat the name, and make sure it goes in and stays. So anything that's high in your value, you absorb out of your environment, and anything that's low in your values, you delete, and you won't even let in. So if you're going to set a goal, if you're going to set an affirmation, if you're going to set up a visualization, if you're going to do the affirmations associated with feelings, make sure that they're prioritized according to what's highest on your value, or you will overlook the synthesis and all the synchronicities and all the opportunities that come into your life that are there, but you can't see them. When people say the law of attraction, there's 2 components to it. One of them is simply the filtering process of you setting a goal that's congruent and aligned with your highest value. You will notice opportunities. You will notice to retain information. You will absorb, you retain, and you will apply and put into motion and act upon those things that are highest on your value. The secret behind the secret, left out of the secret, is don't waste your time on something that's not highest on your value, or you won't see the opportunities, take advantage of the opportunities, and retain the information. You won't excel purposefully, you won't excel as an individual, and you won't excel epistemologically unless it's highest. So that's why you want to fill your day with the highest priority actions that inspire you and not low priority distractions that don't. Entropy takes over a mind that's not focused on what's priority. That's why doing the value determination process and identifying what's truly most important to you and set sail as captain of your ship and master of your fate in the direction of your highest value increases the probability of associations and seeing opportunities and taking advantage of opportunities and synchronously attracting people into your life that match what you value most. Now, there's also another resonation component. And I did a research project in the 1980s. So this is 40-something years ago now. We went into doctor's office and we took inactive patient files. And we would take, let's say they would have patients that have not been in that office in 6 months or longer. These are inactive patients. We would pull up, for every staff member, we would take out 20 inactive patient files. And we'd have a contest of who could read the file, look at the patient's content, study the information on the patient file, the reasons for why they came, who their family members are, and study their file and get to know what their files are. These are the clinically applied people that worked with those patients. We found out that if they read their files, looked at their files, saw them in their mind's eye, said their names, and wrote out the details of what they're going to do the next time they walk in the office, that 20% of those individuals showed back up within 1 week. 1 week, 20% of those people showed back up in the office. They haven't been in 6 months. So when we concentrate on something that's truly important. Now, if you don't have a value on your patients, you don't have a value on helping people, then it's not highest on your values. Your brain won't allow it to go in. You'll just read it and recite it. It's like saying affirmations that are meaningless. They don't have the same power. But the second you say affirmations, the second you have visualizations, the second you think and feel about something that's truly important to you, you're now connected through resonation with people. The innermost dominant thought becomes your outermost tangible reality. So you not only you have a sensory awareness, but you now have a field that you access the individual through. 20% of those patients were back in that office within a week. And we used to call that file day. Once a week, we go in there and reactivate patient files, and they would either refer, come in, contact, or run into these people within a week.
Wow, this is
so
crazy.
the law of attraction is a very powerful tool. But the key is to make sure that you're pursuing things that are truly most important, filling your day with the highest priority things that you spontaneously love to do. I spontaneously love to teach, but I don't cook and I don't drive. So I delegate everything else. If you're not delegating lower priority things and concentrating on higher priority things, you're not going to raise your self-worth, magnetize opportunity, and empower your gratitude attitude that draws in opportunities. Wow. So prioritize your law of attraction. Make sure you're setting goals that are truly important to you and not just things that you picked up because you compared yourself to somebody else and you think, well, that's cool, they do that, I should do that. I don't want you to go and focus on the shoulds, the ought tos, supposed tos, the got tos, the have tos, the must, and the need tos. Those are imperatives. Those are outer injected values. I want you to find out what's truly most inspiring, meaningful, and fulfilling to you and pursue that. If you fill your day with high priority actions that inspire you, it won't fill up with low priority distractions that don't. Wow. So that's one of the keys to the law of attraction, the sensory awareness and prioritization. When you prioritize your actions every day and prioritize your sensory experiences, which means no matter what happens in your life, how is it helping me fulfill my highest value? How is it helping me fulfill my mission? How is it helping me fulfill the pursuit, my inspired vision? If you ask that and answer that every day and don't go to bed until you've taken whatever's happened and seen how it's helping you fulfill your values and prioritizing your actions, you will accelerate your ability to create what it is that you dream about and achieve in your life. There's no stopping you when you get incremental momentum building activities automatically create, piggy banks into biggie banks in life.
Wow, that was crazy. How many of you think that was a wow? Type in a wow in the chat window for that. And Doctor, I am gonna, with your permission, share the free tool that you do share on your website, which is the DeMartini method, also the value determination method test, which some of them can take to be able to understand that. And I will probably do a session with them later about going through that exercise again. But would it be possible for you to take maybe 3 to 5 minutes to help them understand now, using 4 or 5 elements of those entire questionnaire, something which is, let's say, 20% of those questions that can determine 80% of our values, while I know all of those questions are important. Is that something
Yes.
that they can do now on paper right now with you?
Yes. If you'd like, there's a study called proxemics, and proxemics is the study of your own individual space. You have what is called an intimate space, which is 1.5 feet around you.
Okay.
Then you have a personal individual space, which is around 4 feet.
Okay.
Then you have a social space, which is around up to 12 feet, from 4 to 12 feet.
Fair.
Then you have a public space, which is beyond 12 feet. Anything that's really, 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 really important to you, valuable to you, you bring into your intimate space. Anything that's not, you push out to your external space, your public space.
Oh.
So if you meet somebody that you have the hots for and you'd like to kiss, you allow them into your intimate space. But if you meet somebody that you don't want to kiss, you keep them at a distance. So your proxemics determine what you value most, because the things that are really, really valuable, you fill your space with. If you look at what you spend your time filling your space with, look at what is in the 18 inches away. In my case, 18 inches away from me is this computer. I spend many, many hours a day, sometimes 14, 16 hours a day in front of my computer working. So I would say I'm engaged in that with my motor activities, and I'm seeing that with my sensory awareness, and I'm engaged and utilize that. It's one of the most important items I have in my life.
Right.
So if you look at what are the 3 most important items or 3 most important objects, and this can be people too, if it's your children, the 3 most important things that you interact with in your intimate and personal space, somewhere between 1.5 feet and 4 feet. If you look carefully, whatever dominates that most of the time in the place you spend most of your time, that tells you something you value. That's an indicator of your value. So space is the first indicator of what you value most.
So can I maybe take my
The second
example
thing,
to help people understand? Can we take my example as a practical example? That in
please.
my physical proximity of 1.5 feet, whatever I find or have invest maximum time with in my 1.5 to maximum 4 feet is what I value the most naturally. Am I right to say that?
Yes, absolutely.
So let's see, in my case, it's always my laptop is always close to me. Indu is generally 4 feet. I mean, I try to keep her at 1.5 feet close, but she doesn't like it. So she maintains 4 feet mostly. Then I know my birds are usually between 1 feet to 4 feet all the time. And my platinum members and my advanced LOA members, because on the phone, I'm constantly interacting with them on WhatsApp. So yeah, these are the 4 or 5 things that are usually close to me. And on my laptop, I invest a lot of time watching movies. So maybe that can also be part of my intimate space, right?
Yeah, whatever you fill your space with. My case, it's teaching, because if I look at what the objects are, I then ask what's the primary use of that object. In my case, the computer is the primary use of my computer is teaching. I've sometimes spent 14, 16 hours a day teaching. I do it sometimes 10 days in a row, 59 days teaching, 14 hours a day sometimes. So if I look at what I fill my space with most, it's a computer where I'm teaching. The second most thing is my phone. And I don't really talk to a lot of people on the phone, but I certainly do research on it. When I'm sitting at a restaurant, I'm looking stuff up and I'm sending information to myself for research. So I look at what my life demonstrates is most valuable to me. Your life demonstrates your values. So what do you fill your space with? The second one is your intimate personal space with. The second one is time. You find time, make time, and spend time on things that are valuable to you. You create time for it. I create time. If all of a sudden somebody came into town that was really, really important to you, you'd find time, make time, and spend time with them.
Right.
If it's not important, you say, oh God, I wish I'd have known. I'm busy. I won't be able to meet with you. If they're very important, you find a time.
Always.
How many understand? You make time, find time, and spend time. So whatever it is, now I make time, find time, and spend time, and have crazy times for me speaking. This week I'll be speaking from 4 p.m. till 6 a.m. And then 2 days later, I'll be in a completely different time zone. I'm moving all over the time zones. Doesn't matter to me. I make time for my speaking and teaching. I make the time.
Wow.
Because mine are all over the world and they're all different time zones. So look at what you spend your time on. Imagine a drone looking over you, watching over you 24 hours a day for 3 months,
Right.
and looking at what you spend the most time on, the second most time, and the third most time. That tells you what you value most.
Wow.
Because, and you'll find out that their space, what you fill your space with, my case, computer for teaching, and what you spend your time on teaching will match. There'll be a pattern that's emerging.
Yes.
The third one is the energy. Whenever you're doing something high in your values, your energy goes up. Whenever you're doing something low in your values, your energy goes down. When you're doing something high in your values, you have more energy at the end of it than when you started. And when you're doing something low in your values, you have less energy at the end of it when you started. So look at what energizes you most and what you always have energy to do. If I can do it, I've sometimes gone 2 solid days, 48 hours with no sleep, and still did a program. 2 back-to-back problems and still did it all day long. 48 hours we went through. Because if you're doing something you really, really, really are high on your value that you love doing, you don't notice it. You can just do amazing things. Energy is infinite once you recognize that source. The source of energy is congruency with highest values. And the fourth one is money. You find money, you make money, you spend money on things that are valuable. But you won't want to spend money on something that's not. So if you look at what you spend most of your money on, now most of my money that I get goes back into the business of teaching. It also goes to investments. It goes to travel. I travel full time. I'm either on my ship or on the plane. So I'm constantly traveling because I have a value on traveling. My highest value is teaching. My second highest value is researching and writing. My third highest value is traveling. If I look carefully, my life demonstrates those 3 things most. Your life demonstrates your values. You don't want to write down something your life doesn't demonstrate because that's your fantasy. Setting when you're finding what your values are, you're looking for what your life demonstrates, not the fantasies of what you wish it would be or what you would hope it would be or what it used to be or what you think it would be or want to be. I want to know what your life demonstrates. And you go through and you do those 4. There's at least 13. If you go on the value determination process on my website, drdmartini.com, I would encourage you to do it and do it again a month from now and again 3 months from now, and keep records of them and see what's showing, what your life is demonstrating, and answer as honestly and integrally as you can, because that's one of the most crucial things. After all these years of teaching, 51 years of teaching, for the last 46 years now, I have been focusing literally on values and how significant they are in achievement, because your values dictate how you perceive, decide, and act, therefore your behavior, therefore your destiny. So knowing what your highest value is essential if you want to know where you're going to excel, where you're going to be purposeful, where you're going to feel your true identity and authenticity reside.
Wow, this is mind blowing. Everyone type in MB mind blowing if you're really already getting mind blowing experience over here and understanding values and the connection between values and law of attraction. Now, Doctor, with your permission, we'd love to now get into those 4 areas of life, which in advanced law of attraction we call it HRCM. We call it health, relationships, career, and money. And maybe one at a time, if you could throw a little light on why a lot of us, we keep saying, I'm not motivated to exercise. I want to lose weight. I want to make abs. But I'm not having that motivation, or in relationships or career or money, we're not able to attract what we want. How do we connect these values to each area of our life, health, relationship, career, and money, please?
Okay, fantastic. I'd like to start with business and work first.
Sure.
If we don't mind, and end
Please.
on health. Nobody goes to work for the sake of a company. They go to work to fulfill their values. Now, if they can perceive that the job description, the actions that they take every day, and the mission of the company and vision of the company is going to help them fulfill what they value most, they become engaged. If they're engaged, as McGregor said in 1960, they're a theory Y individual. They're spontaneously inspired to act and fulfill the job duty. They don't need motivation and reminding and incentives and to get them to work. And those individuals are creative and automatically innovative, and they are the ones that help build the company. Engagement is one of the most significant things we can do. If you're not engaged at work, you're going to end up with health issues. You're going to end up with financial issues. You're going to end up with relationship issues. When you've had a day and you filled your day with the highest priority actions and you felt on top of the world and you came home, you were easy to manage whatever happened at home that night. But if you were doing lower priority things and putting out fires all day, you felt overwhelmed, you took it out on your loved ones. So the question you want to ask to maximize your engagement at work is this. You make a list of your job description, everything you do, not broad, vague generalities and labels like marketing, too vague. I want to know the actual daily actions you're doing, individual, the actions. Find out what those actions are. Make a list of everything you do over a 3-month period on a daily basis. Because sometimes you'll do them every week and not every day or every second week. But make a list of everything you'll do in your business over a 3-month period. Make that list. And then ask yourself, how specifically is this action that I'm doing in my job description helping me fulfill my highest value? Once you determine your highest value, once you're clear on your highest value, if you can't see how that job duty, that action is helping you fulfill your highest value, you will be disengaged and you won't be able to answer the answer of how it's helping you fulfill what's meaningful. If you do, I can guarantee you, you're going to need motivation. You're going to be drained. You're going to need coffee breaks. You're going to need to escape. Your health is going to be down. You're going to come up with sicknesses why you don't want to go to work because you don't see how it's helping you fulfill your values, because people go to work to fulfill their values. If you can see it, you'll fluently and congruently be able to answer how they're connected and rattle off how this thing is helping you fulfill your dreams. So what you do is you can screen people. I screen people when they're hired to ask them how specifically is this job duty that you'll be doing, how's it helping you fulfill your highest value? Because I do the value determination process first before I hire somebody. If they can't answer it fluently and congruently immediately, and they have to look for answers, I put an X, don't hire. If they can answer fluently, congruently, and they're enthused and inspired when they're answering, I put a check. And I'm looking for 80% checks, not 20% checks. If you've got 80% at least of the checks that they're congruent, they will take that job. They will do it themselves. They'll be greater at it than you. You won't have to micromanage them. You won't have to push them uphill. They will just take the job and run with it. And they will love their work. And as Peter Lynch said in 1990 in the One Up on Wall Street book, after doing his quantitative and technical analysis to determine stock values, he went to the companies and he looked and met the people. If they're grateful for their job, they love what they're doing, they're inspired by their vision, they're enthusiastically working, and they're certain about their skill, and they're present when they work, that company's going up in value. Those are the keys, the secrets that emerge when you work congruently according to the law of attraction and the highest values. So when you do that, when you're congruent, you will be those 6 things, those 6 transcendental feelings. If you're not congruent, you'll end up with emotional bipolar states with high expectations, demands, more money, more time off, more vacations, more sick leave, because you're not inspired and engaged. And work is one of the most significant things you have in life. If you're not doing something that serves people, don't expect a fulfilling life. It's important to be able to tap dance to work and do something you love to do every day. So you first screen the person by finding out how congruent they are, and then you go and ask the question. If they're 80%, you can make them 100% by asking how specifically is doing these actions helping you fulfill your top 3 values. And you answer that question 10, 20, or 30 times. and make new neuroplastic pathways in the brain and set up a link in the brain so they see that what they're doing is extremely meaningful and inspiring. They'll be present, they'll love their work, and it'll bring the blood glucose and oxygen into the forebrain and activate the executive center and bring gratitude out. And gratitude is the key to growing a business. It's a key to having vital energy. It's a key to magnetizing business opportunities. And it's a sign that you'll be able to synchronize and see opportunities and take advantage of them. When you're pursuing something that's deeply meaningful, you actually create the highest level of innovation, creativity, original thinking, and genius. So in business, you ask, how specifically is this job responsibility and duty and action helping me fulfill my top value, second highest value, and third highest value? The more you answer that, the more inspired your work will become. The more income, the more promotions, the more opportunities, the easier the sales, the increasing more promotion opportunities, and the more confidence you are, sooner you'll be an entrepreneur because you'll be confident in knowing you can make your dreams come true because you've just linked everything you're doing to them.
Wow.
If you do that, your business will automatically flourish by that process alone, and you'll increase engagement. And when you do, you increase your profit margins.
So, Doctor, would it be possible for you to share with us an amazing story about someone who was financially struggling, and when they came to the breakthrough experience and they understood the power of their own values, they went through the values determination, and then they started working as per their highest values, and then when they really implemented law of attraction, which is part of values now, started attracting results which were crazy? Like, is there any something which can be like unimaginable kind of a story of a person who went from rags to riches kind of a thing?
Yes. There was a gentleman that came to the breakthrough experience many years ago. He was overweight, short, Jewish man that spent most of his life trying to please his dad. He had his dad up on a pedestal and the pit. He hated his dad, but also admired his dad. Because he admired his dad and put his dad on a pedestal, anytime you put somebody above you, you inject their values and you try to live in their values and try to please them. Just like you do when you first meet somebody you're infatuated with, you try to do weird stuff in order to please them, but you can't do it. You end up futile trying consistently because your own values dictate your actions. So he was trying to live under his dad's values. So he married a woman his dad suggested. He took the career his dad suggested. Now, he didn't really want to do that career, which was law. He wanted to be in the car business, but his parents would not allow it. His father would disown him. And in the Jewish communities, this is pretty strong. Just like in the Indian communities, you find strong influence by parents. So what happens is he sat there and he married the woman that his parents suggested. He did the job that his parents suggested. He acted and had the kids that the parents suggested. He was suppressing his own highest value, trying to live in other people's values. And eventually, while his dad was alive, he kept trying to do this to please his dad, trying to prove to his dad. No matter what he did, he could never satisfy his dad in his mind. His dad died. And all of a sudden, his incentive to try to please his dad disappeared. And all of a sudden, he didn't want to go to that job anymore. He didn't want to go and be with that woman anymore. And because of all the inauthenticity, he ended up with a health issue. He ended up with hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, hyperlipidemia, and he ended up also having a heart attack. Now, in the process of doing that, he's barely in his 50s. He's having a heart attack. He's having almost a stroke. He's an accident looking for a place to happen. His business collapses. He's backlogged on his taxes. His wife then, who is kind of a gold digger, who wanted him for his money, who didn't really want to be with him either, but because of her parents, they said they had to be married. She ended up leaving him. So he lost his family. He lost his wife. He lost his business. He went bankrupt. He had taxes to pay. And he had a heart attack and he was down. Almost every area of his life was trying to give him symptoms and give him feedback to let him know how important it is to be authentic and to live congruently according to your own values. So he came to the breakthrough experience. He was depressed and on medication.
I'm sorry to
And he
stop
was
you, Dr.
basically,
DeMartini, there.
yes,
Did you say all the problems that were happening in his body and in his life were symptoms to tell him that he was not aligned with his values?
that's it.
Wow. All right. I don't know how many of you could catch that. Type an I in the chat window if you caught that. Uh, some of you have been
Every
asking this
symptom,
question.
please.
Please,
Every
doctor.
symptom in your life is a feedback mechanism to get you back to authenticity. And the authentic you is the one that's congruently living according to what you value most, where you're spontaneously inspired and most effective and efficient in functioning as a human being. Now, he came to the breakthrough experience and he was suicidal. And he came to me and he said, he tried to run the story of all the things that are falling apart in his life. And I smiled at him and he didn't like it. And he said, what are you smiling at? I said, this is the greatest day of your life. He said, what do you mean it's the greatest day of your life? He said, what are you, sick or something? I said, no, it's one of the greatest days of your life. He said, I don't understand. Why would you say such a thing? I've just got financial problems. I've got a heart problem. I'm a walking explosion here. He said, it is so obvious. I've been working with people for 51 years and I know when people are incongruent. I see all the signs and symptoms. I said, you are in a relationship you didn't want to be in. He said, well, that's true. I said it again. You have been in a relationship you didn't want to be in. He said, that's true. You have been in a career you didn't want to be in. He said, that's true. You've been trying to please your dad and have gotten nowhere because you can't please your dad trying to live in other people's values. You're only going to inspire your dad when you're authentic and do extraordinary things. You had a financial collapse. Here's the benefits of it. You now have an absolute guarantee and a bankruptcy. You now have absolute freedom. You got nothing to lose by going after what you really want to do. What is it your life has demonstrated you're really committed to doing? He looked at me and he goes, all I've ever wanted to do is work with cars and fix old cars up and repair them and make fancy cars and do that. I want to have a car dealership. I said, right now, you're divorced. Your wife has left you. You don't have to pay anything because you went bankrupt. You have no money. You got out of a marriage you didn't want to be without having to pay a fortune for the rest of your life. That's a blessing. You got out of a job you would never have gotten out of if you hadn't had this thing collapse. You have nothing to lose but to go after what you want. And he started to go in the direction of what he wanted. He started mapping out a pathway, started following priorities. He started to therefore have synchronicities by the law of attraction. He started to write out how he wanted it to be. He started to visualizing how he wanted to be. And it was easy because we spontaneously visualize what's true for us, what's inspiring to us. He could see those cars. He could see himself getting those fixed up and reselling them. He saw it. Within a matter of months, he moved to Florida from the Northeast. He opened up, he got rid of his suits. He got casual clothes. He ended up meeting a younger woman who wasn't interested in him because of his Jewish heritage or his wealth, and got somebody that was more in line with what he wanted to do. He didn't have anything, so she wanted him for who he was, not his money. He went on automatically to start building a buying of the cars until he has saved enough money to where he could start holding on and accumulating the cars and fixing cars up. Within 3 years, he was on his way to being a millionaire again. In 3 years, doing what he really wanted to do. I didn't see him for about 6 months. They started having emails back about that time. This is way back in the 90s. He started having an email and he sent me an AOL email kind of thing. I didn't even get it because I didn't even have a phone or any way of getting it. But we got it in my office. And he says, Dr. DeMartini sent me a picture, 45-pound drop in weight.
Wow.
He looked different. 45-pound in weight. He was walking and he walked his way up until he got his exercise program back. He's now in Florida. He's enjoying the nice weather. He's now selling cars. He's on his way, but 3 years to get to a point where he was a millionaire. because he started to live according to his real values and tried to not be somebody else. Now, here's the key. When you're doing what's highest on your priority and you're delegating what's lowest, you have the responsibility of doing it in a sustainable, fair exchange manner with other people and making sure you do something that's meaningful and fulfilling, which is doing your service in a way that meets other people's needs. When you help other people get what they want to get, you get what you want to get in life. That's the key to the secret of the law of attraction. When you resonate with the people you want to serve and you can't wait to serve them, people can't wait to get served. This man changed his life because he prioritized his life and he created every imaginable symptom to get him to be authentic.
You're on mute, Mitesh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is unbelievable, doctor, because there were two very strong messages that came out of this. The first very important message was that the moment this gentleman was doing something he never wanted to do, even though he probably did well because of his dad or the push that he was getting externally, but he started then having symptoms of his health and his body and his life. He started attracting negativity inside and outside, which was symptoms that he was not living authentic to his own values. And eventually, when his father went away, you said he lost everything. But that was a blessing because now he had no distraction but to go towards what he really valued the most. And this is what he discovered in the breakthrough experience. And the moment he did that, in 3 years, you said his health went up, his relationships went up. He was a millionaire in 3 years. My God, this is amazing because I think we know a lot of people in our community right now who were lost. And I think they suddenly got a lot of bulb-on moment right now just because of this, including me. And I think I'm Indu. I think you can relate with me too, right? Thank you so much, doctor, for this. Doctor, how do you relate this to relationships?
Well, let me do finance because that was just business.
Oh, we're going more towards money.
Let me do some more on finance. The hierarchy of your values dictates your financial destiny. And many people have a value on building a business, but that doesn't guarantee they'll be financially independent. I've done interviews on many people. I mean, thousands of people. Many billionaires and also people that are impoverished. Right. And one thing I've found is people that do not have wealth building in the top 4 values are not going to be financially independent. Because the hierarchy of your values dictates your financial destiny. It determines how you spend your money. So if you do not have a value on saving and investing money and putting it into assets that go up in value, you will never have money working for you. You'll be working all your life for it. And most people think of, when they think of wealthy, they think of spending money on consumables that depreciate in value. You're not going to be wealthy buying things that go down in value. You're going to be wealthy by buying assets. And if you don't know the difference between an asset and a liability, it's time to know. So I was dedicated to the health and teaching and everything else when I was younger. But it wasn't until I turned 27 that I decided that I'm now going to buy assets. Every week, I'm going to put money into buying something that goes up in value. Well, 42 years ago, I began that. I'm very financially independent today, 50 times my original goal. And that's because I saved and invested my money and bought high quality assets, companies and real estate that went up in value. If you are not buying that, you will have unexpected bills. You must learn to pay yourself first, not last, and take a portion and automate savings automatically towards your wealth structures. I automate it electronically. I don't motionalize it. I don't think about it. It's electronically transferred from my bank account into my investments on a weekly basis. And every week I'm buying assets. It's done. And I go focus on serving clients. I go focus on teaching. I go focus on writing. And by doing what's authentic and by structuring the economics and by putting a value on wealth building, my financial destiny changed. But until you have a value on it, you won't accumulate it. You'll keep spending it on things you value more. If you have a higher value on spending money on clothes and on shoes and on food and on travel than you do in assets, then at the end of the month, you'll have more month at the end of your money than money at the end of your month. But if you have a value on asset accumulation, every month you do, the compound interest starts building up a passive investment. I make way more money on my passive investments than I do teaching today. My passive investments make the money for me. I'm doing what I love. I wanted to be financially independent so I could do what I love and do it because, not because I had to, but because I love to. That's financial independence. It's not necessarily for the fancy life. I've got a great life, but that's not what it's about. It's about doing something and accumulating it so you can do what you love, not because you have to, but because you love to, and doing something philanthropic with what you want to do, making some difference in the world.
Wow.
Now, the way you raise it up on your values is you stack up the action steps that are proven to work to build wealth. And you write down the answers to this question. How specifically is doing these action steps helping you fulfill what you currently have as your highest value? Because that's where you spontaneously inspire to act. If you link it to what's highest on your value, you will increase the probability of doing it. So I sat down and wrote down what's the benefit of building a business that serves ever greater numbers of people. And I wrote down a couple hundred benefits. Not spending money, not going and buying stuff, but actually going and serving people and building a business. I wrote down how managing that business effectively and efficiently to maximize profits. I wrote down how saving an ever progressive portion of profits, how that will be a benefit to me and help me fulfill my dream of teaching. I wrote down how is investing in ever greater degrees of leverage going to help me fulfill my highest value of teaching. I wrote down how is accumulating finances and allowing it to grow in investments with compound interest going to help me fulfill my highest value of teaching. And then I created a financial cause, a DeMartini Prize, to help me fulfill my highest value in teaching. And when I asked that and answered those questions, my enthusiasm and my inspiration and my certainty about pursuing wealth building skyrocketed. When you have a big enough reason for doing it, you'll do it. When the why is big enough, the hows take care of themselves. So stack up the reasons why saving and investing in assets, how it will help your life. And I have basically doing that every single day ever since I started doing that. I literally invest. And it's all electronically automated, so I have no emotions that interfere with it. Emotions destroy wealth. Strategies and electronic strategies build it. Buying assets. Now I'd like to talk about relationships for a minute.
Sorry, Doctor, just 1 second. So just to confirm what you said, if I have value, if I have wealth in my higher values, I will do what it takes to eventually attract that wealth in my life. In case right now, wealth is not in my higher values, and which is evident if I'm struggling right now financially, how I can bring it higher in my values is by writing down all the actions that I'm doing in order to make that money, whether it's my business or my job, but writing down at least 100 plus benefits of having wealth on my highest values. If you could explain that part.
No, 100 or more benefits of doing the actions that have proven to build wealth.
All right.
Not the benefits of having wealth.
No.
The benefits of doing the actions that accumulate wealth.
All right.
Important to know the difference. Because people will write down without thinking about, well, if I have wealth, I can buy that car, I can have that yacht, I can travel. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the benefits of doing the actions that prove to build wealth. The saving, the investing, the consistent, the automation, the automatically. Do not write down the benefits once you have it and how you spend it. Because if you write down the benefits of spending it, you'll keep spending it.
Yep.
The benefits of accumulating it and building the wealth. That's the difference.
So for an example, I like to do coaching. So I don't need to write down the benefits of having that wealth, 100 plus benefits of having that wealth, but the action of coaching, 100 plus benefits of coaching, which is what is going to lead me to create wealth. Another example would be buying assets. So writing actions of those benefits of doing those actions which are required to buy assets, to multiply money, to learning about stocks and investments.
How is studying stocks and investments help you in teaching and coaching? How specifically is saving and investing helping you in teaching and coaching? How specifically is saving and investing going to help you in your relationship or whatever's highest on your value?
Got that now. So if I can associate 100 plus benefits to those actions, now automatically I will start valuing those actions, which in result helps me to go towards building that wealth. Am I right?
You're now going to increase. See, every decision you make is based on what you believe will give you the greatest advantage over disadvantage. And if you have more advantage on spending money than you have in saving money, you'll keep spending it.
Yep.
You have to add more value and more advantages of saving and investing it, deferring gratification, because long-term gratification builds wealth. Immediate gratification destroys wealth.
Got that, doctor. Thank you so much. That was very, very clear. If that's clear, everyone type in clear while we get on to the relationship segment. Those of you who've been crazily asking me questions in the community about love, relationships, how do I attract my dream life partner? I'm married, but I still want to attract my dream life partner outside or inside my marriage. This is the time to understand love. Type in love in the chat window if you really want to understand love to its essence. Listen carefully, make notes. Yes, doctor.
All right. What I'm going to say is going to shock some of you, but I've been studying this a long time. The person, the individual that you're with, that you may be partnering with or married to, is dedicated to the fulfillment of their highest value. I've gone through and asked men and women what they're looking for in a mate. They're looking for an individual that's fit. They're looking for somebody who's intelligent. They're looking for somebody that's ambitious. They're looking for somebody that's got resources. They're looking for somebody that desires them. They're looking for somebody that's socially savvy. They're looking for somebody that is inspired by some mission in their lives. Raise your hand if you can relate to those things that are common. Now, that means that if you're not empowered in those 7 areas, the probability of attracting somebody towards you goes down. You know, you want to ask yourself, what am I offering in the marketplace? You know, if you go to the companies, you go out in the marketplace with your company, what's the offer? What's your product, service, or idea? What are you offering in the marketplace as far as yourself? You know, am I intelligent? Am I ambitious? Do I have resources? Do I have ambition? Do I have enthusiasm and inspiration for life? Am I socially savvy? Do I have a desire for the person that I'm now looking for? If I do, I'm a good catch. But if I don't, they're going to be looking for a better catch. And they're not to you. They're committed to the fulfillment of what they value most. That's why you have a search image and an anti-search image. Somebody that's more in line with what you're looking for, and you tick off some boxes, and ones that aren't. Now, sometimes our parents in India select for us. And I've met people that have been selected and done really well in marriages. Sometimes the parents know the children better than they know themselves. But you're still wanting to fulfill your life. So whatever's highest on your value, your ontological identity revolves around it. So if you're going to be dating me, heaven forbid, if you dated me, you can guarantee that I'm going to be teaching, researching, writing, and traveling, and building wealth. If that's not one that's interested in your values, I wouldn't want to date me, because that's what I do. Now, when you're dating a man or a woman, or whatever your gender spectrum is today, just know that whatever's highest on their values, what they're spontaneously going to be doing. That's what you can rely on. If you expect him to live in your values, you're going to feel betrayed. If you expect him to live in their top values, you're going to find out that they're very dedicated and they're very reliable. When you expect them to live in their values, they will be reliable. When you expect them to live in your values, they're going to betray you, because they can't live in your values. They live in their own values.
This completely
my girlfriend is a famous singer. My girlfriend's a famous singer, actress, and model. Her highest value is her career of singing, acting, and modeling. I'm number 5 on her list. My highest value is teaching. She's number 5 on my list. So we rendezvous and we catch up every so often. She'll be coming here in a few weeks. But if we have a relationship that's highest on your value, and that's what you have, your highest value is relationship, and their highest value is business and finance and these things, then if you expect them to be around you all day long, they're not going to be. They're going to be at work. They're going to be making money. So one of the greatest exercises you can do when it comes to values and the law of attraction is, when you meet somebody, get to know what their values are, because that's what you're going to get. They're going to live according to their values. Every decision is based on what they believe will give them the greatest advantage or disadvantage to what they value most.
Right.
Then ask yourself, then ask this question: how specifically is their top 3 values helping you fulfill your top 3 values? And how specifically is your top 3 values helping them fulfill their top 3 values? If you can't see how what they're dedicated to is serving you, you're going to want to fix them and change them. And they're not going to feel love for who they are. And they're going to go find somebody else and have an affair and find somebody else to love them for who they are. They want to be loved for who they are. You want to be loved for who you are. Who you are revolves around your highest values. So if you don't know what their highest value is and you don't see how their highest value is helping you fulfill yours, you're going to want to fix them and you'll destroy the relationship. But if you can see and link your values to theirs, the top 3, the more links you have, the more dialogue, the more respect, the more engagement, the more appreciation, the more intimacy, the more you'll see similarities, and the more you can expect them to live according to their values because you know them and you will trust them to do so. But if you expect them to live in your values or they expect you to live in their values, you're both going to be wanting to fix each other, fight with each other, clash with each other, and try to go probably have an affair with somebody else because it's not working. So by identifying their top values and your values and linking them, you enhance it. There's also a Demartini method that I teach in the Breakthrough Experience, where you own the traits you see in them to calm down the judgments that accumulate through time. Every quarter, do the method on them. Every quarter, do the links in their values and your values. You will then refresh the relationship, have more intimacy, more deep appreciation, and have dialogue, not alternating monologues when you speak. And you will trust them because you will know what they will be trustworthy in, their highest values. You can't trust me to be cooking. You can't trust me to go to the gym every day. You can't trust me to drive a car. But you can trust me to teach, research, write, and travel the world.
Wow.
So
That is amazing.
if you're going to date me, understand that's what you're going to get. If you don't want that, don't try to fix them. Don't get married to somebody to try to fix them. You'll automatically you'll find out the hard way it doesn't work. People don't want to be fixed. They want to be loved for who they are.
But Doctor,
Oh, you can polish, you can get a dog a few dog biscuits and you can get a man to open the car for you and these kind of things, but you're not going to change their things. You can get them to make sure that they kiss before they want to make love. You can train them on basic things and give them dog biscuits for a guy. Girls, you can't train. Girls are like cats. You can't train a cat. Men are like dogs. You can train a dog. That's why women train men more than men train women. Men don't want women to change. Women want men to change. But that's the lesson they both learn to love.
wow, that is crazy. But Doctor, what do we do? Like one of the most common questions in Advanced Law of Attraction with all the community members, there are 2 types of questions. One is people who are married, and we'll come to the second part of people who are not married, not able to attract love. But those who are married are going through exactly this dilemma where now they're married, it's been 20 years, and now suddenly they are attending this Advanced Law of Attraction course where Dr. Demartini is saying, if my husband has different values than I do, and I have different values than my husband, there's no point fixing each other. Now you've made us realize that, but what the hell do they do now?
No, hold on. Wait, Tesh. It doesn't matter what the values are if they're linked. If you can see what their values are, help you fulfill yours, you don't need to fix them. So you're not looking for, if you were to marry somebody that had exactly the same set of values as you would kill them. It would be the Twilight Zone. You'd be married to yourself. You'd be married to yourself. If you woke up and you were laying next to you wouldn't want that.
No.
How many agree? If you woke up and you looked over and there you were looking at you, and you woke up at the same time and looked at each other, you'd slap yourself really quick. You wouldn't want that. No, you need somebody with a different set of values, something with similarities and differences. The purpose of marriage is not happiness. That's the illusion people in. The purpose of marriage is to find somebody. You marry somebody you find somebody that you can delegate lower priority things to. What's important to you is less important to them, and what's important to them is less important to you. And so you're doing the things they don't want to do, and they're doing the things you don't want to do to make a team.
Wow.
That's why you can't have the same set of values, or everything is the same. If you have all similarities, you have boredom. If you get all differences, you get burnout. If you get a balance of similarities and differences, you have love.
Hindu's been complaining. I tell her to do things I don't like to do. Now she doesn't have anything to complain about because you just told her that's what I was supposed to do. Wow, this is amazing, doctor. But can you give us an example of a married couple who came to your workshop? They were struggling, they were fighting, and when they really learned how to link their values with each other, they truly not just attracted, I would say, created that love within each other because of how they aligned their values. Then, just to give people a perspective that that's possible.
I had a guy come to the Breakthrough Experience in Ohio. After the Breakthrough Experience, he said to me, God, I wish my wife was here. And I said, well, maybe she can come to a Breakthrough Experience. He says, I don't want to wait for another Breakthrough Experience. I want her to get this information. If I send her to New York, I was living in New York at the time. This is 20 years ago. Could I send her to where you are? And could you spend a day with her and train her in all this? I'll pay for it. I said, all right, if you'll do it, I'll be glad to. So she flies over, stays at the Plaza Hotel, which is a block or two from Trump Tower where I was living. And I go and meet with her at 8 o'clock in the morning. I knock on the door and I go in. And I said, so your husband said that I was to come and try to share with you some of the principles of the Breakthrough Experience. She said, yes. She said, we have a great relationship, but sometimes we have spats and sometimes we have differences and, like most people, but anything they could do to enhance our relationship, I think that's what he wants. And I said, do you know what his values are? And she said, well, I don't know. So let's go through the value determination and find out. And his was business number 1, finance number 2, golf number 3. Socializing number 4, family number 5. Hers was family, children number 1, the house number 2, extended family number 3, and children's education and health was right there next. Now, she didn't even find her husband on the list.
Whoa.
It wasn't there. Family was included, but it was mainly the kids. So she expected him to provide, but she didn't even have it. And she woke up, she goes, oh my God, my husband's not on the list. And she started laughing. She goes, is that crazy? No wonder we're having some challenges. And I said, all right, so let's now that we've established the values, then we did linking. So we spent the entire morning going back and forth and linking her and his values. So 2 hours, how specifically is this top value working, helping you with your family and your kids? She says, not. That's the problem. All he does is work. He doesn't even know his kids. He doesn't come home half the time. He's always working. Yeah. I didn't ask that. I said, how is him working, helping with the kids? And finally we got there. Well, we do have a house. We have cars. We have transportation. We have good education. We've got nice clothes, nice health things, nice interactions with entertainment and stuff for the kids. Great. And how's it helping with the house? Well, we've got a beautiful house because of it. So I've got a house that I've dreamed about with furniture, that thing, in the area that I do, with high standard, with high schools. All of that's coming from his work. And she goes, well, yeah, now that I see it, I can realize that I have what I have because he's doing what he's doing. I wouldn't have that. If he was home all the time and spending time with the kids, he wouldn't be income. We'd be living in a small, funky house and wouldn't have the nice schools, wouldn't have the nice clothes. And so I guess I'm punishing him and trying to get him home, but then I'm not even thinking that if I do, I wouldn't have what I want. So she got a realization that what he was dedicated to was serving what she was dedicated to. And I spent 2 hours, how specifically is his top 3 values helping hers. She had tears of gratitude when she finished and realized, I haven't been appreciating the man that I'm loving. Then I turned it around. How specifically is you having those beautiful children and having dedication to the house helping him? Well, it's driving him. It's putting him in ambition. It's giving him a high standard. And when he brings potential customers to the house for dinner and sells by having well-mannered children that are dressed well, that are going to schools, they see he's stable and they close business. I said, can you see you're helping him close business? She says, I guess I'm in business after all. I said, you're in the business of producing products that will finally take over the business someday when they get older. And she linked it, and she had tears of gratitude for her contribution to his values. And she didn't see that before. So we sat and linked 2 hours back, her values to his and his to hers. So the values. It's now about 12:45, almost 1 o'clock. We go to lunch. When we get back from lunch, we did a quick lunch at the plaza. And then I showed her how to communicate what she valued in terms of what he valued. And so we practiced like sales, like a sales process, practice communicating what she wanted in terms of what he wanted. So she respectfully dialogued with him and saying what she wanted in terms of his values. So it wasn't a demand narcissistically, it was a balance of sustainable, fair exchange communication. So she practiced and practiced and practiced. At 6 o'clock, I leave. I go back to Trump Tower. I go back. I get a letter from him 2 weeks later. He said, now, Dr. Demartini, I don't know what you did with my wife in that hotel room, and I'll never say all of the things that I did. That's supposed to be a bad joke. But I just did the Demartini method in linking.
Yes.
But I like the joke anyway. But I said, I spent the entire day teaching her how to get what she wanted from him. So she could get what she wants by helping him get what he wants. Now, when she left there and she flew back to Ohio, she stopped back when she was driving from the airport. She stopped off at an Oshman's dry goods store and picked up golf balls, a golf magazine, and a golf sweater. When she came home and she said this, she said, I was thinking of you when I was in New York, and spending time with Dr. Demartini in that hotel room was pretty good. That's like when I send my girlfriend off to George Clooney for lovemaking, same kind of thing. So she went off and bought all this stuff and said, I was with Dr. Demartini and he helped me appreciate all the things you do for me. And she had tears around her eyes and she basically hugged him. Says, I really didn't understand. I've been bitching at you because I want you to be home with the kids and I'm trying to get you to live in my values. You're trying to get me not to spend so much and try to be in your values so you can get ahead financially. And we were clashing. And now I can see because of our values how we're actually living. So I stopped off and I realized how golf is important to you because you make deals there on the golf course. You make money for me. I get a house. I get nice clothes. I get nice linens. I get nice vacations because you go golfing. I never saw the connection. I just saw you as having an excuse not to be with the kids and me. But now I realize you're helping me get what I want by you doing what you want. So I got you a golf magazine and a golf sweater. And I also looked in the golf magazine when I got home. I've never looked at the golf magazine until I could see how it's helping me. And then I saw there's a big contest, that one you like to go to every year. But this year, instead of bitching at you about going and making all kind of problems and arguing, I realized that there's a big sale on where my parents live. And I'd like to take the kids and fly to where my parents are. The amount I can save on buying stuff for the house to make sure it looks really good for the next big closing deal that you make. I want to make sure that I can save us the money to pay for all the flights because you want to save money on the flights and you want to make sure that way I do it. And that way I won't bitch at you when you go golfing and I'll take the kids so they can see their grandparents so I can be around my family. And I know you're helping me do what I'm doing and I'm thankful for that. What he does is he goes, his mouth drops. He gives her the credit card and said, I love you, honey.
Wow. Wow. This is amazing.
Now, the last thing is health.
Before the health part, Doctor, this is the perfect point to ask you your definition of what is love, because I know you have a totally different take on that. Whether it's somebody attracted, whether it's somebody in love in a relationship already.
Love is having perfect reflective awareness that whatever you see in them, you see in yourself.
You'll have to break that down for us.
Values, in your own values.
Please repeat.
Break that down for us really slow.
Love is seeing that whatever you see in them, you see in yourself, but in your own values, the form of your own values. I can see that my girlfriend, she's just won a number of awards this last month, and she's on fire with her singing career. And when she does, it means everything to her. And so I look at where do I get awards for my values, teaching. So I look at my awards in my teaching, and I see that I get the awards in my teaching when she gets her awards in her singing. I look at where her genius is in her singing and her ability to sing beautifully and to be able to remember all the wording and come out and hit all the notes. I see that in my remembering of all the information and hitting all the ideas in my teaching. So whatever I see and admire or despise in them, I find in me. And when I find it in me, I have now reflective awareness, and I'm not looking down at her or looking up at her because I'm too proud or too humble to admit what I see in them inside. And I have love for them because I have love for me. So love is the ability to embrace both sides of all pairs of opposites that each of us have, because nothing's missing in us, and being able to have reflective awareness to see that what we see in them, we have in us. That's why the DeMartini method is so important for relationship building.
Wow. So everything that they have, I have in me. When I see the opposites or the likeness of whatever I like or don't like in them, and I see both those parts of them are already in me. This is what we are calling as reflective awareness, because I'm seeing a reflection of in me. And when I fully embrace both those parts in me, saying I have what I like about them and what I don't like about them, I have in me too. And then when I accept that about me, I love myself and I love them. That's love.
Because I realize nothing's missing in me and nothing's missing in them. And we have reflection. And when we are too proud to admit what we see in them inside us, or too humble to admit what we see in them inside us, we judge. And when we judge, we've got a lack of intimacy. The intimacy is blocked because we're too proud or too humble. We're not on the same playing field. We want a match. Everybody wants a match, an equal. You're not on a match if you're thinking you're superior to them and too proud to admit you have that trait, or too humble to admit you have that trait. You're playing overdog or underdog instead of caring about the person. So love's the synthesis of all opposites. And when you can see that they have all opposites inside, and you will not get a relationship that's one-sided. You're never going to get nice without mean, and kind without cruel, and positive without negative, and peace without war. You're going to get all things. When you can love all things and embrace all things, you can love somebody.
Wow. And I promise we'll ask you more about that in the next session on 13th, because I know there we're going to go into details of the balance perspective. But this was a wow. Like we've never heard love so beautifully. How many of you agree with that? Type in wow in the chat window if that was a wow for you. Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. DeMartini. Health.
Whenever you infatuate with somebody and you're conscious of the upsides and not the downsides, and you put somebody on a pedestal, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is a rest and digest nervous system. When you meet somebody and you infatuate with them, you want to eat them. Raise your hand if you've ever wanted to eat somebody you're infatuated with. You want to consume them. You want to lick on them, chew on them, nibble on them. You want to bite them. You want to, baby, I want to eat you, right? Because you're like an animal wanting to eat its prey. And that's why it's called, the parasympathetic nervous system is called the rest and digest. You want to eat with them. That's why when you go out on a date, you take them out to dinner and then you want to sleep with them. Rest, digest, and rest. Let me understand that. That's part of the mechanism. That's when you infatuate with. When you resent somebody and you see more downsides, not upsides, you want to fight or flight with them. You want to get away from them, or you want to fight with them. And this is basically catabolic and breaks things down. The other is anabolic and builds things up. And love is a balance of anabolism and catabolism, building and destroying. And you need both. That's why the person that you love, you're going to swear, is building you up sometimes and beating you up sometimes, and building you up sometimes and beating you up sometimes. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Every relationship
for
will
2
have
days,
both of those.
3 days, 5 days. Sometimes the beating goes regularly, sometimes, and comes out building for 1 day sometimes.
You get one 5-minute highly concentrated, you're amazing, and then you get another 6 days of beatings. But they all balance out. I'm joking a bit. Now, the purpose of marriage is to help you become authentic. If you get proud, they'll bring you down. If you get humble, they'll lift you up. That's why a man has to learn to say, I can't believe I'm so stupid. Of course you're right. And the more humble you are, the more she'll lift you up.
That's true.
That's why if you go to a bathroom, you'll see the women are on the right and the men are on the left on the bathrooms. Because women are always right and men are always left. It's a bad joke.
Bad joke.
Now, I got bad jokes, but I still laugh at them because I learned that no one else will laugh at them, so I better laugh at them.
No, we got that.
Now, Now, in the process, if you have the parasympathetic nervous system activated, that causes the autonomics to impact cells, and it increases epigenetic, what they call acetylation, which then relaxes the DNA and helps the mitotic divisions and growth. If you get sympathetic and you get something that challenges you and you resent something, the sympathetic comes in and causes methylation epigenetically. And it causes a stopping of the transcription, and it causes the cell death. So we have something that supports, that builds our cells, and something that destroys and challenges, that destroys our cells. And we have to have build and destroy constantly in order to have neuroplasticity, bone plasticity, muscle plasticity, for us to have adaptation and resiliency and to change according to a changing environment.
Right.
So building and destroying of love is necessary. That's why the building up and putting down and building up and putting down is going to constantly be going on in relationship. It's essential to you to adapt to a changing environment, because the world's changing every day. Your business is changing, your relationships, the marketing. I mean, just look at the changes in the last decade, since just in the last 5 years from COVID and 4 years in COVID. So your body will create symptoms through the autonomics to let you know when you're seeing more positives than negatives or seeing more negatives than positives. And it's then going to create the symptoms to make you look for the other side that you're ignoring. Your physical symptoms, your psychological symptoms, your sociological feedback from your loved ones and friends are constantly going to try to get you back to authenticity. So if you're cocky, they're going to criticize you and challenge you. If you're humble, they're going to lift you up and support you to get you back into equilibrium. If you're cocky, your blood sugar goes up, your insulin goes down, your glucagon goes up, you create symptoms of diabetes. If you're humble, your insulin goes up, your glucagon goes down, your blood sugar goes down, you end up with hypoglycemia. If you're challenged and you think you're superior, your thyroid goes up, you become talkative, and you talk down to people. If you're humble and you're infatuated, your thyroid goes down and you become listening and slow in speech. So your physiology and its symptoms are constantly giving you insights to what you're perceiving, and is trying to reveal what you're perceiving to help you balance your perceptions. A balanced mind. I'm writing a new book right now. I'm editing it even tonight, called A Balanced Mind, a Healing Body. Balance the mind, heal the body. If you do not have a balanced mind, you will not have a healed body. You will have illness instead of wellness. And the illness are the symptoms that are giving you feedback to try to guide you back to seeing the balance in your perceptions. Once you know how to ask the questions to balance out the perceptions and bring them back into equilibrium, the symptoms go away. They don't have to be there, because they're there as your friend, not your enemy. They're teaching you how to love, teaching you how to be authentic, teaching you how to have fair exchange, teaching you how to match in your relationships at home, at work, with your kids, social life, and at business. Everything is trying to guide you. So your symptoms are your friends, not your enemies.
You're mute again, Mitesh.
We've never seen symptoms in this kind of a light. How many of you agree with that? Type in yes in the chat window if you've never seen your sickness, your symptoms in this kind of light, that it's always giving us feedback about our inauthenticity and we being imbalanced somewhere. And the moment we balance ourselves, we bring back wellness instead of illness. Wow, this is just wow, doctor. I wish we could have you for more time. I know your time is over with us for today, but we look forward to meeting you again the next session, where we dive deeper into this, because we then get into the balanced perspective more deep for all areas of life. And I promise you that I'll do a recap with everyone here for this session once again, because I've been fortunate enough and privileged to be part of the Breakthrough Experience License Program with you. And I think I'm going to come back for it, because no matter how much I've learned there with you, every time I meet you, I feel I've not learned anything yet. I mean, you always humble me, and humble me in a very beautiful way. So thank you so much for such an amazing experience. I'm going to bring in Indu here to share maybe her experience, and then Imran. Indu, you want to share? This has been one crazy journey as usual. I know what's been going on in your mind, but go ahead. Hey, Imran.
I think I'll let Imran speak.
Yes, Imran, go for it.
Good. It's always a pleasure to hear, Doctor. And every time I listen, I get a new perspective about what I already know. So thank you. It was yet another an exciting session. I know all of you who are attending this session, there are certain things which you did not comprehend. Not to worry. That's why we have Mitesh with us. So the idea about, we have a master with us who understands the master and gets his message across to us. So be at peace. Okay. So be at peace. So thank you, Doctor, for making that easy for us. Yes.
Thank you. Indu, you want to share your gratitude to Doctor before he leaves for the day? It's
Yeah,
been
thank you so much, Dr. DeMartini. It was indeed a mind-blowing session. I really loved a lot. I have taken lots of note, and I'm going to implement a lot of things. And I have also got a lot of realization about my state of mind and my health, which I'm going through right now. So thank you so much. I think it's as if I attracted this session only for me. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Doctor.
thank you.
We'll see you soon in a private session very soon by next week. I think we need to go deeper into this. So thank you. Thank you so much. But before you leave, Doctor, would it be okay if I just unmute everyone and let them give you their gratitude, their love, what they're feeling for you? Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Doctor. Unmute everyone.
Thank you.
So, time is less, but please give him your...
Thank you, Dr. so much.
so much.
Love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the mind-blowing
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Love
you. Mind-blowing.
Thank you, Doctor. Eye-opening
Love you.
session.
Gratitude and gratitude.
Thank you so much.
If I don't
Great
mute,
to be
they'll
with
go
you.
on for the love they have for you. But thank you. On behalf of everyone, Doctor, I really mean it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you again at the next session. Thank you so
Next
much.
session.
Love you all.
Thank-
Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much.
We love you, Doctor. Thank you.
Love you too.
Whoa. All right. Oof. Heavy? All right, I've unmuted you. Go for it. How was that?
That was awesome.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah, awesome, sir.
Mind-blowing. I'm going crazy. I joined Law of Attraction because of this.
How many of you have a totally new perspective to law of attraction today? Raise your hands. Now you know why I bring my masters to you every single time. And here is my promise to all of you. Dr. DeMartini, I brought him here specifically for one reason, is to give you more detailed perspective again on values and two very important lessons that he teaches. And I think nobody in the world teaches it better than him. Values and balanced perspective. Next session is even more mind-blowing. Like if today was like a hand grenade, the next session is like a nuclear bomb. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, it's something that took us, with me, into our life to a totally different level. And here's a big promise I'm making to all of you. For all this is especially for all the platinum members, because what I did was when we invited Dr. DeMartini last time for the breakthrough experience, which was a full 2 days experience on these two lessons. Values is a 1 full day workshop. Balanced perspective is a 1 full day workshop. Together, these are 2 days full workshops called the breakthrough experience. And then what I did was after the last workshop, I went and got licensed by him to teach values program and the DeMartini method and the values program. And I think after that, we delivered it only twice. But how many of you agree that I think platinum members, would you like me to deliver the entire values program one more time to go more in detail for 2 full days? Would you love that? Yes? Okay, so I promise once we finish the second session with Dr. DeMartini, we'll schedule 2 full days again, and we'll go deep diving inside one more time. And I promise you, not only we will re-deliver those values training program back to you, but I will personally go to Dr. DeMartini again. I will retrain myself so that I bring him to you in as authentic way as I can. Because I think no matter how much I learn from him, the way you've heard him today, nobody can speak like him. How many of you, it's not about the way he speaks, it's just the clarity that he brings has got years of wisdom that transfers to you, not like words, but it hits you like energy. How many of you agree? Like all the coaches, do you remember what I say? You don't transfer content. What do you transfer? You transfer energy. I mean, you can listen to the same words and replicate the same words back to your wife in the night and she'll say, "Kya bol raha hai?" Like what? I remember this good friend of mine, Sharan, and he says, "Hu kya hai kya?" And it's because you can repeat exactly the same words and people will not get anything out of it. Because what you get from someone like Dr. Demartini, I repeat, is not words, it's energy. And that is why I brought him back. So soak every word that you get out of him. And I promise you this, what you understood, what you didn't understand doesn't matter. Tonight, when you sleep, these things are going to go on in your head. How many of you agree you are more energized right now than you were in the morning? Type in yes in the chat window if you agree. Like your energy is right now blazing. Like every pore of your body is like, what just happened? Thande pani se nila diya jaisa lag raha hai. How many of you agree with that? Right? So you're not going to be able to sleep tonight. And this information is going to go in your subconscious mind. It's going to process. And tomorrow morning, when you get up, you're going to remember, in my 1.5 feet, what do I have? In my 4 feet, who do I have? In my 12 feet, who do I have? And then you'll suddenly remember that, oh, I don't have a good relationship with my children because I'm always 4 feet away from them. And maybe you will go and bring them from 12 feet to 4 feet to 1 feet. And you'll realize that some of you are struggling with your boss, and you'll realize that very rarely do you bring your boss in your 4 feet. He's always at your 20 feet. And maybe you'll start going and sitting close to your boss just for that proximity and giving him more time. And some of you will realize that your health is going bad because suddenly you'll remember day after tomorrow what Dr. Demartini said, that you've got a lot of imbalance going on in your mind. You're judging a lot of people, because of which you're seeing so many negatives in other people and seeing so many positives in yourself that somewhere you've become arrogant and you've started feeling that the whole world is behind me and I'm the only good person. And because of that imbalance, you'll see a lot of health problems are happening in your life. And suddenly, for the first time, you'll realize that only taking that tablet and only doing that pranayam is not going to help. Along with that tablet and along with that pranayam, you'll also balance your what? Show me your hands. Balance your mind. Because what did he say? Balance your mind, heal your body. So I'm telling you, this information is going to remain with you. And every single day, you're going to remember more of it. And the more you remember it, the more you're going to process it, and the more you're going to practice it, and you're going to start attracting it. Now, advanced LOA students, I have limited time with you. So I hope that someday you upgrade yourself to platinum, because in platinum, then we're going to go deeper with all this information. And I promise we'll go more detailed in this discussion when we do the entire 2 full days values and balance perspective workshop after Dr. Demartini's balance session next week. So that was just a quick recap in my own way. Was that a good recap for all of you? Awesome. So now, before we go, since I am full of energy and you're full of energy, let's have some sharing before we go. Of course, if some of you are tired, you're welcome to leave. But before that, I'm going to invite Imran. Yes, I was about Imran. Imran, as usual, we cannot even think of letting people speak and close the session without your closure. And yeah,
I don't know how many of you realize this. I fell in love with Mitejji more after listening to Dr. Demartini. How many of you with me on that? Yeah, because this person, Mitejji, if you all realize, so much of complicated information, Mitejji makes it so simple and so easy for understanding for all of us, like layman like me and you, who don't comprehend such comprehensive language. How many of you agree with me on that? Right? So we're all blessed to have understood law of attraction in the most simplest of manner and the easiest of possible ways. So the idea about bringing, masters like this, Mitejji, we love you for doing that, but time and again, what we realize is more and more masters coming in, the more and more we'll fall in love with you, because you are our masters who makes it easy for us to understand your masters. Otherwise, ये हमारी बस की बात नहीं है. I know most of you, I was reading on the chat box that some of you could not comprehend, some of you had things going away from your head, things like that. But idea is be in that energy. So one of the reasons why we do what we do is to make you receive this in the simplest and the best way. So be committed, keep learning, and be associated. And that's what commitment shows up in Mitejji, that how he easily understands every word and makes it so simple for all of you. So thank you, Mitejji, for doing what you do. And I'm in love with you again. So
thank you. We love you too, Imran. As usual, you make me look more amazing than I do, in spite of my lack of looks compared to you. But in the end of the day, you make me suddenly look more handsome. So thank you so much for that.
You are.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
You want to say something about what you learned today, and while we have other people sharing after you?
No, honestly, I'm choked with this, so I don't think I want to share anything right now.
All right. Okay. So here we go, guys. Your chance. Stage is yours. Let's go one at a time. And Niyati, I was expecting you to raise your hands. Got some of your answers? He always wants to work. He doesn't want to give me time in my life. He wants to do business all the time.
But I don't want all the money. I want him only.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah, one sincere request. When you do the 2-day, we want offline. Please. I'm dying to meet you now.
That's difficult. Offline, if we do, God knows when it'll happen, but we'll do the online first, so that we can do it fast.
Yeah, but what I second with what Imran sir is saying, it was like, "Ha, kya bola? Ha, kya bola?" And you really make it sound so simple, doable, easy, and like it's like हो जाएगा. Like you make us believe that ये तो हो ही जाएगा. इसमें कुछ नहीं होने जैसा. Like there's no possibility only of it not happening. It's amazing the way I'm in awe of you.
Thank you. But Niyati, tell me, what did you learn? What was your learning from that conversation for you?
I learned that the values that he said, my values and his values, how to get more of that and how can he get more of that. I want to sit down, talk to him, make him listen to this so that we are in conjunction with each other rather than be away from each other.
Yeah.
Because he does fulfill a lot of my value system,
Yeah.
which is very, very true.
Yeah.
And then we can work midway, that there's always a way for that.
Amazing. Congratulations. Your
session
energy is
was-
different.
Yeah, today's session was like really my answer. What you did was great in the answer that you gave, but this really, really summed it up.
Absolutely. Amazing. Congratulations, Niyati.
Thank you so
Unmute
much.
everyone. Give her a high five. Congratulations for finding love.
Congratulations for
Finding love. Finding
So going to next one, and we've got Rashesh Agrawal, new member. Yes, go for it.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Hi, it's been a long time for me. I have not joined it.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, and as soon as I just got the pop-up message from my father, he is traveling right now because of work. He went back to the vessel. So he just messaged me, "Hey, Dr. John Demartini is doing the session." So I was like, "Hey, I got to do it back again." Because if I remember, I did it last year when I was in my 10th. And at that time, I realized so many things and everything changed. I honestly did the second time also when you conducted it. It changed my life completely.
Wow.
Right now, honestly, I have developed so much. I cannot tell
Wow.
how crazy it is. Just doing those 2 sessions changed my whole life. In 1 year, I am right now an entrepreneur. I'm running 2 agencies. I'm running 1 digital agency. I'm running 1 personal brand. I'm running for many clients. I can't tell you enough how much I've attracted from just 2 sessions because
Wow.
it's just unable. I'm choked. Like I don't know what to say. And I just soon as got a message, I was like, I'm clearing all my schedule. I'm sitting down. I'm sitting with Nitesh sir and Imran sir and ma'am and with Dr. John. I have to do it. No
Wow.
matter what, I'm doing it. And I'm cleared all my schedule with my clients, all my work. And I'm like, no. I'm just
So you're
doing it.
living
I
life
have to do it again.
with your highest priorities, and that's why suddenly your life is going at full speed.
Yes, my life is at my full speed. After doing that, I bought my dream phone, my dream laptop.
Wow.
I created my dream setup, and I cannot thank you enough for bringing Doctor in my life. And
Most.
I can't thank Indu ma'am and Imran sir because you guys changed my life completely. And being a 16-year-old, I have no words what you guys have done so early in my life that will just stay forever with me.
Amazing. Congratulations, and thank you so much for sharing and inspiring all of us. Unmute everyone, give him a high five. Congratulations for being absolutely clear about your values.
Congratulations for being absolutely clear for our values.
Even if you're inspired by that, 16-year-old boy living the life with absolute clear values, and look at how much he's achieved in the last 1 year. How many of you would love to repeat that values training program again, those 2 days, one more time? Do you see the value of that now? Amazing. All right, so let's go next to, got Rashi. Yes, Rashi, how was the session for you?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I've unmuted you. Go for it.
Session has been like mind-blowing for me, and I was struggling for my values, and with this session I'm now 100% sure that what I want to do. I got clarity, and from like long time I was keeping the decision on the hold that whether I should go this way or this way. But with this session, everything got literally cleared. I needed this session so much.
Congratulations, Rashi. Unmute everyone, give her a high five. Congratulations for 100% clarity.
Congratulations for 100% clarity.
And one more
Yeah.
One more thing that I wanted to take away from this session was linking the values of your husband with your values. Because I used to judge him from that point of view that he's not supporting, but he was supporting me in other ways through his own values.
Yep.
So
Amazing.
that was also a big lesson.
Awesome. Thank you, Rashi. So yes, this is something, one of my biggest learnings here was that two people don't, when I read his book first time, one of the takeaways that I had was that two people have to have similar values to get married or to have a great life together. But then when I really attended his workshop, I realized it's not about just having similar values. You are going to have two people with opposite values, because only and only when you have somebody else who doesn't have your values, you can give them what you have lower on your values. How many of you remember when he said this? Do you remember that? And if they do something which is different from you, they have their higher values, so they can give their lower values to you, which is part of your higher values. This way you complement each other. That is why you're supposed to be different from each other. You're not supposed to find people who are similar to your values. You are supposed to find people who are opposite to your values, who challenge your values, and you challenge their values. But then how do you grow? The growth comes from not finding similar values, but by linking your values to their values and their values to your values. Now, this linkage is not natural. It is learned and it is created. And we'll do this in the values training program when you work with me for 2 full days, where you learn a specific method of sitting down and writing down in a very crude way, in simple way. I'll tell you right now, writing down how my values are helping them and how their values are helping me. You remember the example he gave, how your husband's working all the time, but how is it helping you fulfill your values, which is your children, your house, your family, your in-laws? How is it helping you fulfill those values? And how's your values helping him achieve his values, which is his business? It's giving him the drive to grow because he has to fulfill responsibilities for the children, for you, for the family. And that is how you learn to link. And once you start linking your values with their values, suddenly the person who you judge, you start accepting, and you find love, and you have tears of gratitude that this is the best person I should have had I had in my life. That if this person was not there in my life, I wouldn't have been able to fulfill the values that I do today. Everything that I have today is a result of this person living his values or her values. And when you realize that is when you have tears of gratitude, that is love. But we'll go deeper in this in the values training program. All right, so going next to Yukti. Yes, Yukti, welcome back. How was the session?
Amazing. I have been looking for this session, eagerly waiting for this session, rather, I would say. And I'm truly, truly grateful to you, to Indu, and everyone here, firstly, because of the energy I feel being here. And honestly, I think I have attracted this session because I have been going a lot of this thought process of how to live life, my life, authentic self. This has been my, for quite a time, it has been a lot on my mind, honestly, to share with you and with everyone. And, the thing that Dr. Demartini has said, and the last thing I have also written, the last thing that you have said very nicely, and it was an eye opener for me also regarding the health when he said that, that the symptoms are showing that you are not living your authentic self.
Yeah.
That was a big bulb on moment for me. And how nicely you have said that, pills and pranayam won't help you till you have a balanced mind. So that was a very bulb on moment for me. And as well as, in the relationship also, I'm very proud of my relationship with my husband, no doubt about it. But yeah, understanding that also that we are serving each other's higher
Right.
values. That was so beautiful. That was so amazing to realize. This realization was very amazing, and I really look forward for the next two sessions. And I would love
That's
to
going
be
to be
more
fantastic.
active from now onwards. I have not been active,
Please do.
but yes, I am listening, I'm reading all the WhatsApp messages and everything. I'm there in this energy, and I love you. I love you. I love you a
We love you
lot.
too.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank you.
Suresh. Truly, truly
Unmute
grateful
everyone.
to
Give
you.
her a high
Thank you.
five. Congratulations for magical inspiration.
Congratulations for magical
Congratulations for a magical
Magical
magical experience.
All right. So let's go to Amol, one of our newest platinum members. Yes, Amol. How was the session? Yes, Amol. I've unmuted you.
Yeah. So first of all, sir, deepest gratitude to you, Indu ma'am and Imran sir.
Thank you.
Basically, sir, just 2 days I joined Platinum, and two magical things for me today is, one is support calls, and second, the biggest is this one, John Diomatini call. So I'm really grateful for that.
Thank you.
And sir, session में ये हो रहा था कि मतलब I want to take the notes, but I'm feeling कि मतलब notes लेने में कुछ miss हो जाएगा.
Actually,
There is a constant struggle going on कि लिखना क्या है और सुनना
True.
कैसा है. So that is totally, and the session is totally awesome. So my biggest takeaway, as you mentioned, is related to the relationships. And second, the clarification regarding the actions to build the wealth or the savings and investment. So the actions are more important. You have to concentrate on the benefits of the action, not after having the end result. Because
Correct.
then every time you will be thinking about the spending. So
Correct.
that is really a great realization and bulb-on moment. Once again,
Amazing.
thank you
That
so
is why
much.
in Bhagavad Gita they say karm kar, phal ki chinta mat kar. Focus on the
Yes,
action. Amazing.
thank you.
Thank you, Amol. Unmute everyone. Give him a high five. Congratulations. Welcome to Platinum Family. He's one of our newest ones.
Congratulations.
Congratulations and welcome to our
all.
Platinum.
Welcome.
All right. And let's go to a couple of more sharings for the day. Sumeshwar. Yes, Sumeshwar. Go for it. What do you want to share?
So first of all, sir, thank you very much for this session. Yeah, so last time I attended this D Martini 2 days. Yes, so that was really awesome. But since I was doing first time, so might be most of the things it bounced. So I learned there how to balance the life, and it worked very well. And today, I mean, I learned these values very nicely, and especially the first part was like, he was talking about a space, then time, energy, and the money. That was the one sequences, and this value, how it will, he related in terms of like, HRCM, that was really awesome. So I'm able to recall when I was at a time in my career where values, I was following the values. I don't know about the others, but I was really following the values of the organizations, and I was really, to taken it on a high values, and I was growing like anything. So
Wow.
now I'm able to relate it very well. And today I learned a new perspective of these values in terms of money, relationship, and health. So now I can relate these values in HRCM, and definitely it will help me a lot in all the area to grow further.
Absolutely.
I can see these changes, and many such kind of moment it came in my life in past, but I was never knowing that okay, it's somewhere related to the values. So now
Yeah.
I can connecting all the dots, and I see that okay, so it will be a really awesome session for me at least.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Someshwar. Unmute everyone. Give him a high five. Congratulations for clarity on values.
Congratulations for clarity.
Congratulations for a congratulations.
All right, let's take one more sharing before we close for the day. It's 11:15. This is crazy. Look at the energy in the room. All right, so going to Naval. Yes, Naval, go for it. What do you want to share? How was the session for you?
I was hoping you unmute me.
Yes, here you are.
So I think I'm just probably second to what Imran said. Previously, I think if he used to, I used to love you 100 on 100. Today you've just gone into 1,000 on 10,000.
Thank you. We love you
You,
too.
you just kind of show us that what you're expecting, don't expect that. I'm gonna get delivered 10,000 times more than that.
Thank you. Thank you,
And I'm
Naval.
gonna again tell you that you should probably double the fees of platinum because what you're giving is priceless.
Thank you, Naval.
लगता है कि 3-4 लाख कुछ नहीं है. And I think one thing, beautiful thing which literally has changed my life is that, and I'm so grateful to all you and Indu ma'am that you went into specific areas of health, career, relationship, money. Okay, by ek area mein, and because I've had diabetes for quite some time and I've been taking an insulin, but now I realize that it is not only about the tablet and exercise.
Yeah.
It's about having a balanced life also.
Correct.
Balance might not sitting for 18 hours on the computer thinking how to make money, but taking care of your health also and your dimag also.
Correct.
And, I mean, what are your actions leading to the results? आप जो कर रहे हो, हाँ, गोल लिखना बहुत आसान है, पर आप गोल के जो लोग कर रहे हो वो आपको एक्शन के ले जा रहा है क्या? Was and 4 feet away. What are you keeping 4 feet away?
That is amazing.
I mean, I can write a book on today's session, but it's absolutely incredible. I think total gratitude. I wish I could touch your feet right now, but incredible gratitude. I mean,
thank you, Naval.
I've not seen a teacher like you in my life.
Thank you for sharing such beautiful things.
जिसको भी idolize करता था, आज I think आप सब उनके ऊपर चले गए हैं. You are above all my teachers.
Thank you so much, Naval. Unmute everyone. Give my high five. Congratulations for magical clarity.
Congratulations for being
So magical clarity, Imran.
So one of the most common things I'm hearing again and again is that no matter how much we hear, there is still so much to learn from Dr. Demartini. How many of you agree with that? So here is the best part. One of the reasons I brought Dr. Demartini back in this particular way, because trust me, I would have loved to have bring him back for the 2 full days workshop. But that last time we invested 65 lakhs for that. And bringing him again and again every 3 months for that, even if I would love to, would be a little difficult. So we brought him back this way, where we negotiated a certain price, where we could keep him part of this workshop for at least 2 years. This is a limited period of time that we have for him. So this session that we have, good news, the recording is with us inside the course. That's a great news. How many of you think that's a great news? Because I know you will need to listen to this again and again. How many of you agree with that? इसको कम से कम 4-5 बार सुनना पड़ेगा. एक बार में सुन के कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Even if I recap for you, you will want to go back to him, listen to his words and imbibe his energy, right? That's the beauty of it. So good thing is he's there with us in the recordings now, the way we've negotiated this entire deal with him. The not so good news is it's for 2 years. So not for 1 year. We've got him for 2 years, which means after 2 years, we cannot promise that the recordings will be part of the course. The reason I have to clarify that, because as part of Advanced Law of Attraction, my recordings are with you for lifetime. But that's not the same promise for his courses, for his lessons, that we have a limited price that we have to deal with him for as a contract. Everyone clear about this? Okay, perfect. So with that, thank you very much. I had a great time with you. I know some of you want to still share, but it's late evening and we have an early morning tomorrow. Before we sleep, can I request you to please share your learnings, your appreciation tonight in the community before you sleep? Platinum members, you have your WhatsApp group to share. But those of you who are part of Advanced LOA community, on the online community, if you would share your learnings and your results over there, we'd love to, because that is why we do everything that we do, to know what difference did it make in your life. And if you could also share on social media and tag me over there, it can help us reach to more and more people and then invite people to the next workshop, for the next Advanced Law of Attraction workshop, because here is the good news. One session is done, but one session is still remaining. When is it, Indu, again? 13th, right? If I'm confirming correct, Indu? Yeah, 13th. So 13th, we are meeting again, 9:30 p.m. with Dr. Demartini. Those of you who are Platinum partners, raise your hands. This is your golden opportunity to invite your friends and family to make sure that they are getting the opportunity to be part of Advanced Law of Attraction course, so that they can attend Dr. Demartini on the balanced perspective, which is super mind-blowing. I mean, I'm not understating when I'm saying if this is a hand grenade, that's a nuclear bomb. I mean, that's totally crazy. So please be there with your friends, with your family, attend together on video, and let's learn a lot. Let's grow a lot together. And one of the things that I want to share with you, which I learned from Dr. Demartini today, is don't look up to people, don't look down to people. Keep people equal so that you can keep them in your heart. And I would say the same about me, which I keep saying about in workshops all the time. I'm not very special. Don't keep me up. I'm not very bad. Don't keep me down. But I'm good enough to be kept in your heart. And that's all I'm asking for your love. So thank you so much. We love you all. Before we close, one last time before I leave, I'm going to invite Indu and Imran to close for the day to say thank you to all of you. Indu, because believe me, the amount of work Indu has put in for this session to happen, from the inception, which is from the ideation of this session should happen again, executing, to contacting Dr. Demartini, to making this whole thing happen, was absolutely Indu's idea. So I don't know if she's available right now. I'll call her in the meantime while Imran's coming in. Yes, Imran, go for it.
No, I have nothing to say. So congratulations for each one of you. And thank you for being amazing participants. So keep the learning on.
Thank you, Imran. Thank you so much for being us, as usual, anchoring this session to make sure that your energy is with us all the time. Thank you so much. So Indu, I think, is already off. So thank you so much, everyone. I will see you soon tomorrow morning. And all Platinum members, remember 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning is your dancing fitness time. And 9:30, I will meet you for your daily support time, where I'll personally take the support session for the next few days. See you tomorrow. Take care. Let's unmute all of you. Good night, and I love you all.
Good night.
Good night. Love you all.
Good night, all.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you so very much.
Good night. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Towards
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you.
So much.
The highest in me, both the highest in you. Lots of gratitude. Lots and lots.